know what I love? Spooky shit. And everything, like TV, books, movies, and most importantly, games. While I have yet to find a game that actually scares the ever-loving shit out of me, I can always appreciate a strong atmosphere which builds tension, so at least I may audibly gasp or temporarily spaz out when a jump scare occurs. F.E.A.R is a game that has become one of my favourites for the genre of horror games, not only for the amazing atmosphere it's able to create, but excelling in other areas also. Released in 2005 under the development of Monolith Productions, who had previously made Blood 2, Alien vs Predator 2, and Condemned Criminal Origins soon after F.E.A.R, so I'd like to think they can satisfy my need for spooky shit. It's become somewhat of a tradition of mine to play this game every Halloween, but this time I'd like to do something different. So I'm going to go over the whole game and this time really look at the aspects of it that make it such a memorable experience, at least for me. First things first, if you're going to play a game like this, you better fucking do it right. Ensure you only do it at night, with the lights off, with headphones, earphones, sunglasses, 3D glasses, put something scary on your second monitor, duct tape your mouth to cover your screams. There, now you can get immersed. This basically just says what the F.E.A.R, First Encounter Assault Recon unit is. Basically they're a team of heavily armed individuals who investigate paranormal events. Think the X-Files meets SWAT meets Ghostbusters. Wonderful. Don't be a pussy. The game opens with this cryptic cutscene with the amalgamation of every freaky Japanese horror child telling someone to, which can only mean good things. Surprisingly, this follows up with everyone in sight being killed. Oh, and this guy eats people. We find out this guy is called Paxton Fettel, and that he's taken control of an army of clone soldiers who for some reason were just left laying around in an airfield hangar. Shouldn't they need to be kept in a fridge or something? He controls them via a telepathic link, so if you kill him, the link is broken and the soldiers are useless. He's got a tracker in his head, so this should be the shortest game ever, right? You play as the silent protagonist type simply referred to as the point man, and you're not really given anything about your character other than having really good reflexes. You're joined by Spencer Jankowski and Jin Sun Kwan, who are pretty much useless from a gameplay perspective, and this guy Rodney Betters, who is in your ear for a majority of the game as a plot explainer person.
What about you, buddy? Ready to go to work?
You're putting him in the field?
You track Fettel down to some abandoned building and the mission begins with you arriving in a car. You're quickly established with some of the core mechanics of the game like your melee, jumping, flashlight, and shooting. More importantly, on top of this, you acquire a feel of the game's atmosphere through the exceptional sound and visual design along with just hints of the paranormal. There's also these non-suspicious syringes lying around everywhere, filled with glow stick juice, which looks perfectly safe to inject. Anyway, after some clues and foreshadowing, you come across signs that Fettel has been there and still might be hanging around, so you go searching by yourself.
Get going.
Stop, I've already pulled that shit. Well, I know what happens here, so no real shock, but the fact that this guy said,
His reflexes are totally off the charts.
then this occurs, doesn't raise much confidence in the point man's abilities. Tell me something useful.
They all deserve to die.
God fucking damn it. More foreshadowing, something to do with a birth and someone in deep regret.
I've tried to forget. I've tried so hard to forget.
So you join up with a different group of soldiers from the SFOD, which probably stands for Surely Fodder for Obscene Deaths. They also introduce the character of Douglas Holliday, who actually breathes some life into the cast by being more relaxed and wisecracking. What were we doing? Oh yeah, let's go find Fettel. Just a small thing that a lot of first-person games I've played seem to neglect is that when you look down you can actually see the rest of your body, and you're not just floating arms. The fact that they care enough about this sort of detail paints a strong picture for the amount of effort that went into the game.
See if you can get this gate open. I'd send one of my boys, but I think we need a specialist for this one.
Being rough on the new guy, huh? Alright. I sure hope you guys don't meet some kind of horrifying demise. Oh. Okay, so creepy little ghost girl, most of you should know who this is, has skeletized these guys, so you need to go meet up with Jankowski's team, who I'm sure are fine. So now we actually get to shoot something, introducing the first enemies of the game, replica soldiers. Battle's personal army, they're very strong in numbers and come in many shapes and sizes. They're very communicative with each other, which works more to their detriment than yours, as it lets you know where they are. Your number one tool for fighting these motherfuckers are through precise aim and your ability to
slow down everything,
which provides you with a strong edge against your foes in this game, but of course your ability to do this is limited. This level gives you a taste of the combat and introduces you to some of the weapons along with how the health system works. None of that regenerating health shit here. On top of body armor pickups, you have medkit, which have a dedicated key to use, so if you're generally getting wrecked in a fight, you might need to spam it. Moving on. He's adopted ye all, if I can't see him, he can't see me strategy. I guess now's a better time than ever to showcase the newly picked up grenades. So Point Man starts having some non-suspicious visions of Jankowski until you come across what happened to the other squad. Well, this looks familiar.
oh my god, who thought it was a good idea to fight ghosts with regular guns?
Whatever, I'm fine. So now I'm at a water treatment plant. Not exactly the most colourful or exciting location, but I didn't expect this game to take place in fucking Kirby's Dreamland. As funny as that would be. They kind of glaze over the fact that not only did I survive an encounter with creepy little ghost girl and an explosion, but I don't seem to be harmed at all. I think there's something going on with my character that may or may not tie into the main plot of the game. Creepy little ghost girl continues being an insufferable little shit, but I guess dead 6-year-olds don't really have much else to do with their time. Of course there's replica activity here too, which confirms the presence of F.E.A.R, but we still haven't seen him in a while. Yes, I just got killed by a fucking exploding fire extinguisher. I guess they're haunted too. One thing done excellently in this section and during the game in general is the use of lighting and shadows. For a title released in 2005, it certainly puts a lot of other more modern games to shame with the cinematic use of such elements, even in these strained and lifeless environments. I'm going to continue staring unsuspectingly at this wall, sir! Point Man starts having more hallucinations because he clearly can't get enough of whatever is in these syringes. There's more emphasis placed on a birth. I wonder where this is going. I will admit it took me a few playthroughs to fully understand the plot of this game. A neat little thing it does, other than having good old Rodney telling you shit and news segments on radios, is that there's phones with messages left on them throughout the game, which flesh out the plot a lot by having characters discussing events, some of which you were present for, like the explosion at the shipping yard, and others which are from the past.
You have one new message.
Hey man, I heard something crazy is happening over there. You alright? Let me know. We're still on for Friday, right? Call me back, bro. I hope you're alright.
The great thing about this is that it doesn't take you out of the game's atmosphere and can actually complement it quite well, as I'll demonstrate in a later portion of the game. A complaint I have about the game's sequel is that these events were replaced with generic text-written journals, which in my opinion hindered the immersion significantly. Let me ask you, have you ever needed a double amputation on your legs from the waist down but haven't been able to afford those outrageous medical bills? Well, look no further! On that note, we're given some new toys to play with, including one of the most satisfying shotguns I've ever used in an FPS, and some more explodey things, but before I get into that, looks like we're meeting someone new. The heavy armor replica soldier, very adorable and loves to roar at you for some reason. They're slow moving, which makes them easy targets, but are generally accompanied by replica soldiers, and they take quite a bit to go down. They also wield another new weapon, the penetrator, used for penetrating. Going back to the explodey things, we get the proximity mines, which is a great way to showcase another point I want to make about the feedback from the environment based on your actions, namely their destruction. You see the shockwave, body parts from corpses and various other debris flying around, the flickering lights and the screen shakes, there's small fires started, there's dust from the damaged concrete, even its bulletin board swings back and forth from the force of the explosion. There is just so much going on, and this amps up the intensity of the fights massively. There's also remote mines, which are a little less practical because you can't detonate them while you're holding another weapon. You have to actually have the detonator equipped. It's very terrifying to replicas for some reason though. Also a good substitute when you're bored and a pen isn't available. So other than just being at this water treatment plant because of F.E.A.R, you also find out that there was a contamination in the water supply. In addition to this, you discover that F.E.A.R is looking for someone named Alma, who, if you are paying enough attention, is the creepy little ghost girl in correlation with something called Project Origin. No, not the game sequel. F.E.A.R's interrogation method of "tell me what I want to know or I'll eat your face" seems to be rather effective. The replicas start retreating and are on their way to somewhere called Armorcam Technology, which is where F.E.A.R escaped from and the replica soldiers were created. That water contamination I mentioned, their fault too. I have a feeling we're going to find out a lot after we're through with that place. Your next objective is to secure a landing zone and make your way to Armorcam, but not before experiencing a double jump scare.
Surprise, motherfucker!
Surprise, motherfucker!
He deserved to die. They all deserve to die.
And of course, another armor-induced hallucination which features, you guessed it, a birth. At least this time they throw a new enemy at you. Simply referred to as nightmares, these Alma-created apparitions are quick, but die in one shot from most weapons. Their means of damaging you are just to simply kamikaze and explode on impact. They don't really pose much of a threat until later in the game, where they're high in numbers and you're not always clear on what direction they're coming from. Compliment to their design though, being genuinely unsettling. Okay, well that'll wrap things up in the water treatment plant. In part 2, we find out what happens when a disgruntled office worker gains access to a large array of deadly weapons. Also, Alma does ghost shit or something. The sewer rat knows no mercy, knows no pain. The second you turn your back on them, it's already too late. Oh God, please. Please, no. No. No!